I normally give a little intro into how awesome Sensei Seagal is, but given I'm reviewing the movie where it all began, I'm just going to shut up and let the brilliance of this man, who, in his own words...
I try not to act, you know.
And?
I think the most important thing in acting is to not act.
We know he doesn't care about the law.
I don't care about the law.
Because he is...
I am the law.
Sorry, wrong line. He is...
Above the law.
Well, you're above the law.
Oh, and he crosses his arms a lot. I don't know why, but there is a lot of arm crossing going on in this movie. The opening 10 seconds is a goldmine for me, as I will definitely save these homely photos of Big Daddy to my Seagal presidential media library. And it's officially confirmed at the beginning of the movie, Seagal will be tapping into his well-established Italian roots.
I was born in Palermo, Sicily.
Yeah, I have some Italian on my mother's side.
The opening monologue taps into Seagal's actual life. I've always suspected every movie he was in was based on his real-life events.
While I was there, I met some crazy drunk guy named Nelson Fox. He recruited me into the CIA.
Were you drafted by an agency or someone that wanted to take advantage of your fact that you were an American and a martial artist and someone who may have known the country?
Something like that,
Something like that?
Pathological liar.
Seagal makes everyone on set recognize his brilliance with a bow, plus some loud claps. This extra was foolish enough to be disrespectful and make direct eye contact with Sensei Soulglow. These old blokes are missing the early bird dinner special at the old folks' home, expecting to see actual combat, not some prearranged bullshit running and diving. Cue a Vietnam War montage to show you this is a serious and hard-hitting movie. Sensei Special Forces looking around for his best mate who said he was going to pick him up. Big Daddy has some stiff competition from this guy for who runs like the biggest in this movie. This guy clearly doesn't know who he's disrespecting with this insolent attitude, but something tells me he will find out at some point in this movie.
What does this have to do with military intelligence?
Who the f is this Cherry?
I would have replaced the word cherry with wanker, but maybe I'm being picky.
Who the f is this
Wanker.
Seagal shows his disgust in the background as this nasty man tells everyone on set that there will be no all-you-can-eat buffet for lunch today.
Huh?
Then Seagal essentially commits a court-martialable action by punching his superiors. And just strolls away like nothing happened. Fast forward to 1988 Chicago, before it officially became Chirac. At this point in his life, in the real world, Seagal was banging Kelly LeBrock.
You've done well.
I hope that was as good for you as it was for me.
In his movie life, he's slaying Sharon Stone in her prime.
But how? How?
Which makes absolutely no sense.
This is why I worship you, Big Papa Seagal. And also because he openly tells us how women forget to get fully dressed when in his presence.
This girl, sometimes she comes in just lingerie.
Don't tell our secret.
We get our first action scene and probably the beginning of dozens of stuntmen getting abused. And after disposing of a few blokes, Seagal struts around with some big energy.
Alright, who else wants some?
Until this guy hits Seagal with some truths that really hit home and upset him.
You'll never be the man. You'll never be the man.
I'm deeply hurt. Your words deeply hurt me.
Big Daddy is absolutely disgusted that this guy thinks he can take all the and women for himself.
I want you to take me someplace where I can find some women.
Then, the lovely Pam Grier makes a massive script reading error.
Reiterate, you said you were going to protect my butt?
She clearly misread the word protect instead of repeatedly touch. That would seem more appropriate for Sensei sodomy. Sensei gives us a teaser of his groovy gyrations that will become infamous decades later.
When the girls start to strut, you could look at their butt, you shouldn't do that. The girl dress is just as pretty, not just there to cover her kitty.
Oh, how I yearn for more Seagal dancing. 80s undercover police work was nothing if not subtle as they stroll around with giant white earpieces and wires dangling around. Seagal being his usual dirty bastard and implying she likes to swallow the old sausage. You know, guzzle the old groin goblin.
You eat meat, man. I know you eat meat. I heard you eat meat.
The bus goes wrong, and because this was his first Hollywood movie, Seagal is actually forced to do his own stunts. And pulls his face, which I find absolutely adorable.
I'm too sexy for my shirt.
Fun fact, Seagal actually filmed all of these scenes himself, as he has previous experience in holding on to moving cars. This guy must be the dumbest henchman driver ever, as he repeatedly asks,
Where do I go? What do I do? What do I do?
The logical move, numbnuts, would go really fast and suddenly slam on the brakes. It's not rocket science, you knob. The FBI and CIA are dirty, and they let Larry from Perfect Strangers go free.
Am I looking up Larry Appleton?
Larry Appleton, that's me.
Let's just stop for a moment and appreciate this guy's luscious mane.
Just let your soul glow. Just let it shine through.
Seagal lets us in on the little sweatshop operation he had running in anticipation of his future business ventures.
Good to be the king, isn't it? And guess what? This could happen to you if you drank Lime.
Seagal attending church as being his first movie, he hadn't yet had the epiphany that he himself is a modern day deity. A bunch of people are injured in the bombing, including his mate the pastor, who doesn't pull through. Seagal showing us his full emotional range, and I for one am brought to tears.
And the Oscar goes to...
Steven Seagal!
Seagal finds out who took the last cookie from the jar.
Excuse me. I'd like to have a word with you. Alone.
And given his extreme affinity for cookies, he proceeds to attack the FBI jerk.
Alright, what the hell is it, Toscani? If it's you, that's what the f it is.
Look at the hate in his eyes. You do not mess with his cookies, you idiots.
I love cookies.
Sensei Spaghetti allows this man to disrespect him in a way that current Sensei Squinty would never allow.
You think you're rough stuff, Toscani. Martial arts hero, chop suey crap. Let me tell you something. You're not bulletproof. You're not even a good cop. Damn! Really? You sneak around playing your street dick games.
We also find the origins for Seagal's love for banking and finance.
Bank on it, pal. I'm gonna take you to the bank, Senator Trent. To the blood bank.
He said that? Some line, huh?
Sensei Sleeveless lets these boys know he means business by showing off his buffed and chiseled physique. Calm down out there, ladies. They instantly cower at the sight of his athletic rig that is no doubt powerful and nimble. Seagal dispatches the bad guys with the skill of, say, your dad.
See if Steven Seagal is doing anything physically in a movie that your dad can't do.
Before we are treated to the grace and elegance that is Big Papa running. Now, whilst his hand flapping is stunning and hilarious itself, it's the facial expressions that really make it for me.
Stop being a girly man.
What a joker.
This big boy cops an actual punch from Sensei Slappy, something we don't normally see.
Your mood, man.
Before we're treated to Seagal sexily strutting away while talking to his fellow African-American brethren.
What's happening, brother? Yo, what'd it be like, homie? That was real good, man.
What about Steven Seagal?
Seagal gets arrested by the feds, suspended, and threatened after it turns out they're all dirty crooks. Life imitating art, hey my US friends.
You go fuck yourself.
Sensei Sniper gets the drop on some blokes who shot up his car, and cunningly convinces them to drop their weapons.
Everybody's gonna ditch their weapons, butt first.
Except, there's always one hero in the group.
I don't think you can drop us off, badass.
And Big Daddy fires back with a quick response that was absolutely f***ing brilliant.
You're right, but I'll get an A for effort.
Mind you, he did just kill a bloke who was unarmed, but alright. And he's a cop apparently, but I guess not anymore, he's suspended. Then he walks them into a confined area and proceeds to wail on some stuntmen with a series of pushes, throws and clotheslines. Before fleet-footedly dashing off into the wind. Sensei Sicilian gives the dirty feta lecture about life, banging young girls, and being a sex addict.
Special Agent Neely, what were you doing with that woman up there? Were you engaging in some kind of unnatural sex acts with that young lady?
If only he knew the things he would eventually do. Allegedly.
And in terms of your life in America, you've been very much caught up in all the allegations.
Quickly!
Harassment. You had an
Richie!
allegation against you, and I wonder how you deal with all that.
No doubt Big Papa insisted on a random scene that highlights his Japanese speaking abilities. Absolutely unnecessary, but shows how awesome he is. The bad guys do that thing where they enact their plans really slowly and leave an opportunity for something to happen. And that's something, I'm absolutely sure, will be Big Daddy Batman.
What are you feeding him? Why don't you just kill him?
No, Scott, I have an even better idea. I'm going to place him in an easily escapable situation involving an overly elaborate and exotic death.
I'm Batman.
Pam Grier gets dropped with a shotgun bullet because, like most women, she doesn't do what she's told by a man.
Listen, under no circumstances are you to come out of this car. You just stay here, all right?
Seagal manages to get away, but not before getting his little Italian mate and his partner shot. It's fun being friends with Seagal. But luckily, they both survive.
Yeah, buddy!
As you'd expect, Sharon Stone and Seagal's baby appears to be mixed race and not a white kid. Proof that Sensei Seagal is in fact ethnic fluid and definitely not a white Irish Jewish bloke from Detroit.
I think the foundation of all people has to be where we come from ultimately.
At one point, Sharon Stone is sick of their marriage and tries to convince Sensei Sausage Fingers to join the LGBTQ and other things community.
Swallow, you choke on it if you have to.
Seagal busted by his old army buddy scouting future potential ladies to nakedly caress in movies. Now say what you will about his balding hairline, his throwing, pushing, clotheslining or running, but it cannot be said that he did not at least try to make an effort in this movie with his acting, regardless of what he'll have us believe.
Nobody would ever believe me if I told them the bankers run the CIA. Do we kill our own senators now?
Why not? The Romans did.
Are we the fucking Romans?
We're an empire, too.
You don't believe that shit for a minute, Nelson.
The bad guys and the crooked CIA roll up on Big Daddy Dingaling, which is extremely unfortunate. Unfortunate for them. Seagal pulls a badass move of smashing this guy off the parking lot and into imminent death. Fucking baller move, Seagal.
You piece of shit!
He steals another car and goes on a medium-speed chase through the parking lot before finally getting caught. And now Seagal's in the unfortunate position of being on the other end of some kinky bedroom rough play. Oh, how the tables have turned. This bloke says what almost everyone who has met Seagal has ever thought.
You are too fucking dumb, you asshole.
Which pisses off Big Papa Pepsmear and he manages to break free and lay some smackdown.
I want you to take me someplace where I can find some drugs or some women.
Before stumbling out and getting found by the cops. And that's pretty much the end. And as you'd expect, Big Daddy saved the senator's life, stopped the bad guys from winning, and then leaves us with a nice little speech that I must admit is pretty damn spot on.
Whenever you have a group of individuals who are beyond any investigation, who can manipulate the press,
You are fake news.
judges, members of our Congress, you're always going to have within our government those who are above the law.
Now, would this movie hold up today in the action world? Probably not. Action stars do all sorts of acrobatic shit nowadays that simply pushing and throwing people won't cut it. One thing all of those flips and tumbles cannot replace, though, is the charisma and magnificence that is Big Daddy Dimple Dick.
Are you really as fat as they all say you are?
Every once in a while.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I see far worse acting in Hollywood nowadays.
Planning on stealing something?
No, ma'am, we're not.
Plan on murdering me in my sleep?
What? No.
I mean, the police captain dude in that movie alone had the worst line delivery I've ever seen. At least Big Papa Plumpy actually put in some effort.
Go keep it in your pants, all right? These men have a job to do just like we do. Fair game, let them play it.
Anyway, Seagalians, have you all seen Above the Law? Perhaps this has enticed you to go and check it out. Without this movie, there is no Seagalism, and the world would have never heard of Sensei's saxophone.
I'm done fucking with you.
Alright my friends, we're going to leave it there for now. I'll be back soon with a few more videos, but in the meantime, don't throw anybody through some glass. Strap on your best thin black singlet, but above all, stay awesome. Peace, legends.
When I'm sailing away, sun shining bright in the sky, and I'm free when I close my eyes. Help me wash away my sorrow.